Did you catch that moment when Jasmine Crockett looked right through Trump's defenses and landed a knockout question? In a single blink, the room seemed to freeze. Cameras panned, studio lights dimmed. JD Vance's pulse, if you listened hard enough, you could almost hear it skipping a beat. That one exchange? It shattered the expected political theater and became the internet's new obsession overnight. Imagine the setup, a high-stakes TV studio humming with political anticipation. On one side of the stage, Donald Trump, former president, Republican frontrunner, and the man whose rallies once shook stadiums with roaring crowds. On the other side, Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman from Texas, poised, unflinching, calculated. The kind of calm that doesn't come from nerves, but from certainty. What started off as just another Sunday morning segment quickly turned into a masterclass in political confrontation. Jasmine didn't shout, she didn't posture, she didn't even raise her voice. She simply began to list, one by one, promises unfulfilled, infrastructure still broken, families torn apart at the southern border, pandemic contradictions. Every word sharpened with surgical precision. And then, she delivered the blow. How do you justify telling grieving parents that you did everything you could when your own administration blocked critical funding? That was it. The question that tilted the entire atmosphere of the room. Trump, usually ready with his signature bravado, didn't respond immediately. His jaw tightened, his eyes narrowed, and then he glanced sideways toward JD Vance. Now remember, Vance isn't just any senator. He's often viewed as Trump's intellectual shield, the man who steps in with slick phrasing when the heat turns up. But in that moment, JD Vance didn't blink. He froze. No one moved. Trump leaned forward, clasped his fingers, and began a familiar phrase. Look, I did more for this country than any other president, but this time his voice wavered. Crockett, unfazed, leaned forward just slightly. Her tone sharpened. Then explain why millions feel left behind, why families mourn in silence, why your bold promises echo in an empty room. Each sentence landed like a stone, rippling through viewers across the nation. JD Vance jumped in, visibly uncomfortable, trying to dismiss it as a political stunt. Congresswoman, these are twisted talking points. But Trump cut him off, loud, abrupt. Let me finish. And in that second, everything changed. The audience sensed it. The producers behind the glass certainly did. The entire power dynamic had flipped. Trump wasn't leading. He was defending. And Crockett? She didn't need to press further. The silence after her final question did more damage than any political ad could. Clips flooded social media within minutes. One camera caught Trump's uncertain eyes. Another caught Vance's forced smile. Yet another zoomed in on Crockett's final line, delivered with quiet force. America deserves more than platitudes. It demands accountability. The internet exploded. Crockett vs. Trump began trending. Late-night comedians replayed the segment. Political analysts across the spectrum dissected every blink, every breath, every twitch. Some said Trump's hesitation revealed vulnerability. Others said it showed he had no new playbook, just old talking points. But almost everyone agreed on one thing. Jasmine Crockett had shifted the narrative. Behind the scenes, joining JD Vance's team scrambled. Press statements were fired off, claiming the video was selectively edited and theatrically framed. But the footage was raw and uncut. There was no escaping what millions had already watched. Meanwhile, in Washington, Crockett's inbox swelled with support. Messages from teachers, activists, military families, everyday Americans. Not celebrating a gotcha moment, but applauding her for asking what they've long wanted to hear answered. And through it all, she didn't take a victory lap. In interviews, she deflected the spotlight. She repeated one core message. It's not about who wins the argument. It's about whether the truth wins the day. Let that sink in, because in today's climate, where sound bites replace policy and outrage drowns nuance, a moment like this cuts through the static like a lighthouse in fog. And the ripple effects, they're already being felt. Polling shifts, enthusiasm gaps at Trump rallies, fundraising surges, not just for Crockett, but for candidates who show spine without spectacle. Even major donors are reportedly reevaluating their allocations. Because whether they support Trump or not, they can see it. There's a new kind of political currency in town. One based not on fear or fame, but on facts, and the courage to confront power with truth. In the weeks ahead, JD Vance will undoubtedly try to rewrite the narrative. Trump's advisors will craft a counteroffensive. Maybe they'll spin it as fake news or blame a hostile media, but none of it erases the image we all saw. A composed Congresswoman asking direct questions, and two Republican giants with no answers. And here's what matters most. This wasn't just about Trump, or Vance, or Crockett. It was about us, the people watching, the voters, the citizens. Because democracy doesn't survive on loyalty alone. It survives on accountability. And in that studio, under those blinding lights, Jasmine Crockett reminded us all, the most powerful person in the room isn't always the one with the microphone. Sometimes it's the one asking the hardest question. If you found that moment as powerful as we did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Hill Stories, and ring that bell so you never miss an update. We bring you the bold voices, the real stories, and the questions that matter. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.